Hello. Today we're listening to Trout Replica.
I can't buy your Veterans Day puppy.
Trout Replica is like a critically acclaimed album of just like a bunch of sounds strung together that are just hammered together. It's critically acclaimed. It's by Captain Beefheart and his magic band. A lot of people adore this album. A lot of people despise this album. I'm here to see which side I'm on. I'm pretty sure I'm going to hate this album because it is 28 tracks long, 80 minutes long. It's twice as long as California. It has twice as many tracks as Trench. I am not looking forward to listening to this. I am tired. I don't want to listen to Trout. I don't want to listen to the Fish album. I don't want to listen to it, but I'm going to do it. But enough crying and pissing and shitting. It's time to get into this amazing, fantastic, awesome album with the first track, Frownland. Let's see how good this is.
And the sun in the moon and all I can see.
Okay, so you probably listened to like 5 seconds of that song. You probably already want to die. That song is 1 minute and 40 seconds long. That's incredibly short, but it's still way too long. It should be 1 second long. I don't want to listen to this album. So all the pros I can give it. Sometimes the instrumental seems like the people who are doing it are good at the instrumental, and they could make a good song, and they have on other Captain Beefheart albums. But here they just decided, hey, what if we spend like a year making this piece of absolute horse dung? Am I right? It would be funny. It would be funny. Captain Beefheart is trying to sing, but is instead just being like, it's not the worst thing I've ever heard. I mean, it's not as bad as like AJR because at least it has comedic value. Low 2 because it has comedic value, and like it's short. And it's like, it quickly has disappeared from my brain. Low 2. It hasn't scarred me permanently. Now time for the next song. The dust blows forward and the dust blows back.
There's old Gray with her dove-wing hat. There's old Green with her sewing machine.
I'm gonna
Where's
kill
the
myself.
bobbin?
That was not a song. That was just an old man rambling about poetry. There was no reason to ever listen to that. That is 2 minutes of my life. That is never coming back. And I gained nothing. My mind has just... I lost like 30 brain cells. Low 1. Low 1. It doesn't even have comedic value. This is... What even is this? What is this? What is this? This is poetry. This is an out. Why are you here? Now time for the next song. Dark Cow Blues.
The skeletons dancing and screaming and dying in the ovens.
Okay, so that song has like one thing going above the other two songs, and that's that it made me smile once, which is nice. Other than that, it's Frownland again, with nothing changed except for the fact that it's about World War II now. I'm going to give it the exact same score as Frownland because it's the exact same thing. Slightly funny, occasionally funny, and it's on. This is the one time where a song being unmemorable is a good thing because it's erased from my mind. I don't remember anything from it. It's gone, and that makes me happy. So I'm giving it a higher score. I don't care. This is the third song. I'm already going insane. Next song, Ella Guru. Let's get it over with.
Walking looking like a zoo. Hi Ella Guru.
It actually has rhythm. The
That's right, the mascara snake. Fast and bulbous. Tight also.
A part of that song was a song. And it had the mascara snake. And also annoying high-pitched voices and it's not funny for most of it except for when the mascara snake shows up. Ha 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 ha. It did give me a fleeting amount of joy though. Fleeting amount of joy too. I'm giving it the same score as Falling Up. Now for the next song, Hair Pie Bake 1. This song is 5 minutes long. Ah. Low on. Alright, next song, Moonlight on Vermont. I don't know why, but this strangely sounds tolerable to me. It might just be whiplash after listening to Hair Pie. It's the worst thing ever. I am going to be completely honest here. That is the first song from this album that I enjoyed. That was funny to me. I found that funny. Certain parts of it were like, the instrumental were actually decent, and the parts of it actually went well with each other, which is weird considering the fact that it's this, and not something good that you would want to listen to ever. But it's funny. I find it funny. It's still bad, but like in an endearing way. 3. It's like Boots by The Residents, except I like Boots more. Hey there, I'm back from a 23-hour break because I listened to 6 songs from this album and they were too much for me, so time to listen to the next 22 in a row. Starting with the 7th song, Pachuco Cadaver.
A squid eating dough in a polyethylene bag is fast and bulbous. Got me?
I did not miss this. Oh, the hair pipe. The horns are back. The instrumental in this part's actually kind of tolerable. And now it's over, right when I stopped hating it. That was the most boring, the second most boring song in the album so far. It was a 5-minute song of Captain Beefheart talking over the most bland beat of all time. It got better near the end, but still it was just so... There are 2 pros to this song. At the end, for like 10 seconds, the beat is fine, and at the beginning they say fast and bulbous, which I find funny. So instead of giving this a low 1, I'm giving it a 1. Thankfully, the next song, Bill's Corpse, is only 1 minute and 50 seconds long, so I'm not going to want to kill myself while listening to it. Speaking of that, let's listen to it.
The plains were bleached with white skeletons. Various species grouped together according to their past beliefs.
I found that funny. That one was funny. Some of these songs are kind of funny, and when they actually like work as shitposts, then I'm going to like it a lot more. I found that funny. I found that song funny and kind of endearing. It was not as good as Moonlight on Vermont, because Moonlight on Vermont had like a kind of decent instrumental, which is weird to say considering the fact that it's purposefully terrible. But yeah, I found that funny, which means I like it a lot more. Next song, Sweet Sweet Bulbs.
The ominous smile, the ominous stench.
That song was Frownland and Dachau Blues again. It is... it's not like the worst thing I've ever heard. It's slightly funny, but it's just a complete waste of brain space and thought and time. Low 2, same score as both of those. It's the same thing. Next song is Neon Meat Dream of an Octofish.
Enjoin the jade point of
Oh!
diamond. Incest, ingest, injust, infeast, incest.
This hurts so much to listen to. I am incredibly conflicted about that song. Incredibly. Because I find it both funny and an absolute waste of time, even more than every other
I
song
write a
on
long
the album.
essays for
What?
school.
Wow!
So
Yeah, it's a waste of time, but it's also the funniest song on the album. I'm gonna give this song a high 2 because I find it funny, but it hurts me deep down on a spiritual level. It pains my soul. Now for the next song, China Pig. Does the entire song actually sound like this? It's been a minute and 40 seconds. Why? I didn't know that my biggest flaw with this album was gonna be that it's boring. I've never heard anyone say that it is boring. I've heard people say it's the most wacky, insane album of all time. And then, like, 2 of the songs so far are just Captain Beefheart singing, just like, I don't want to do the thing, I don't want to kill my China Pig. The dust blows hard and the dust blows back. This song is the biggest waste ever. It's not even like a funny song. It's just terrible. This is a abomination against God. It just feels like they needed another song for this album. Low one. I would rather unironically listen to I Hate Minorities. Time for the next song, My Human Gets Me Blues. It's the same thing.
I saw you, baby, dancing in your X-ray gingham dress.
I don't even want to get annoyed. Because it's pointless. I'm just annoyed at the people who say that this album is a masterpiece. I get it. There's a lot of guitar. The instrumentals are technically good. The people playing the instruments are good at playing the instruments. That does not matter at all. I do not care. It's not a masterpiece. It's not experimental. It's not avant-garde. It's just crappy folk rock. It's crappy folk rock that Captain Beefheart was like, oh yeah, wouldn't it be funny if I did this? And just switched around the audio stuff. Low 2, like Frownland. I'm going to scream. Next track is Dolly's Car. Let's play it and listen to it. Why? What is the point of that song being on the album? It's a 1-minute instrumental track. And that's it. It's just a terrible instrumental. It's not even a transition or anything. It's just pointless. It's pointless, just like this entire album. It is purposefully pointless. That might be something smart. I don't care. It's terrible, and I despise it with a passion. Low 1. The next song is Hair Pie Bake 2. Look, I try to be lenient with my reviews, because I think you can find, like, good in most music. You can find something good. You can't find good in this. There is nothing good about this. Low 1. No. Next song, Pina.
That's right, the mascara snake, fast and bulbous. Also, a tin teardrop.
Bulbous also tapered.
That's right.
Peanut, her little head clinking like a barrel of red velvet balls, full fast noise. Treats fill her eyes, turning them yellow like enamel-colored tacks.
I thought that song was funny. That was a funny song. And I think that the song was a funny song that was funny, and it was funny, and I liked it, and it was funny. I'm gonna give that song a high 3 because I enjoyed it more than I disliked it, which is a first for this album. Good job. You made a song that I actually enjoyed. It took 15 songs to do this. Time for the next song, Well.
It floats down the river on a red raft.
No! Oh my god, it's just the dust blows forward and the dust blows back. Back. I'm not listening to this. I'm not listening to this. I'm not listening to this. Low one. Low one. Time for the next song. When Big Jones Heads Up. This song is 5 minutes long. Oh, it's the hair pie thing again. They never stop with the hair pie thing. When Big Jones Sets Up is 5 minutes of noise. Low one. It's the most boring thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Song number 18, and I need to stress this, 18 is Falling Ditch.
I run on beans. I run on laser beams.
Falling ditch. Somebody wanna throw the dirt right now.
Okay, so the song is a low one, but it starts with Rocket Morton, who runs on laser beans, and I find that funny. So I'm just going to give this song a 1. Congratulations, that's better than the majority of this album. Good job. Next song, Sugar and Spikes. Let's get it over with.
In sugar and spikes, in neon lights, in walks in lights and chains.
That is the same thing as every other song. That is the exact same thing. Low one. Stop. Next song, Ant-Man B.
Brown and snow. All those people longing to be free. And then be.
Well, that was definitely a song from this album. Low one. I don't know what you expect. Next song, Orange Claw Hammer.
A thick cloud caught a piper cub's tail, a match struck blue on a railroad rail.
Do you seriously need 3 poetry songs? Do you need 3? Do you need 3? You can cut out all of them. You can cut out all of them. No one cares. No one is going to listen to these. No one wants this. It's not even like bad or anything. It's not here for any reason. There is no reason for this to be here. 0, 0, 0. I don't even have a thing for that because it's not a thing. 0, 0. I'm just not rating it. No, I'm not even not rating it. It's not like you like this. It's on this album as a song. It's not like an interlude or something. It's on here as a song. 0. Next song, Wildlife.
Wildlife, along with my wife. I'm going up on the mountain for the rest of my life.
Low 1. Next song, She's Too Much for My Mirror.
It's too much for my mirror. She almost makes me lose it.
Low 1. Next song, Hobo Changba. I really am not enjoying this at all. Yeah, I think I get the point. That's a low 1. I do not want to listen to any of this anymore. So I'm not going to. I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. So I am back from taking a second break because I could not deal with how horrendous and horrid this album is. So I'm ready to listen to it again. There are straight up 4 more songs. I could not listen to them. I cannot bear to listen to these last 4 songs without taking like at least a little bit of a break. It's nighttime now. It was not a little bit of a break. It was 4 hours. That doesn't matter. Let's go on to the next song, The Blimp, parentheses, Mousetrap Replica. Beautiful name.
The blimp, it's the blimp, Frank, it's the blimp. When I see you floating down the gutter, I'll give you a bottle of wine. Put me on the white hook back in the fat rat, shadracky shack.
I didn't miss this at all. So that song was less terrible than other songs on this album. But it was still about the same as Frownland, but it was kind of a little bit funny, and it had rhythm. A little, too. bet you can tell I'm feeling good because I gave it a score that isn't a low 1. Now for third to last song of the album, Steal Softly Through Snow.
Steal softly through sunshine, steal softly through snow.
Okay, so that song was Frownland. Again, the instrumental was slightly interesting, unlike most of the songs in the middle of this album. And that is the highest praise I can give it. I'm giving such interesting commentary for this album, but there is not a lot to say. It's Trout Mask Replica. Time for the penultimate track of the album. It is almost over. Thank God. Old farted played.
Road goat pot-bellied barnyard that only he noticed. The old fart was smart. The old gold cloth Madonna. Dancing to the fiddle and saw, he ran down behind the knoll and slipped on his wooden fish head.
I have nothing to say about that song. I have not one singular thing to say about that song. I have not one singular thing to say about that song. I have not one singular thing to say about that song. Now, for the final song of this godforsaken LP. Let's hope it's like at least a good ending to the album. It just sounds like every other song so far.
Like a miner, Veterans Day poppy.
That actually goes together well. That actually sounds good. Oh, that's beautiful. That was a genuinely good song. That was an actually really good song. It starts off like a song from this album. It just starts off as Frownland, low 4, low 2, low 2, whatever. But then it like brilliantly transitions into an actually like really well done and like mournful guitar riff that's genuinely beautiful. It is genuinely beautiful, and it seems like occasionally it starts to dip back into the trash, but like not in a bad way, in a good way. It's like, it's and becomes beautiful again. It's amazing. That on its own would be like a low 5 or a 5, but it has the 4 at the beginning. But that works well with the song. It's a fantastic ending to this album. The only way you could really end this album is with a good song. That's like a reward for listening to this absolute piece of shit. I kind of expected it, but it was still a very good song. High 4. I actually really enjoyed that. It was not worth listening to the album, though, for that. God, no. And if my calculations are correct, then this album gets a high 1. High 1. This album is a high 1. I have heard throughout my entire, 3 months of knowing that this album existed, that this album was like, oh, it's experimental, it's avant-garde, it's crazy, it's bonkers, it's wild, it's a wild ride, you know? It's really not as, groundbreaking as everyone says it is. It is just a collage of noise. It's a shitpost, and not even a funny one. Meet the Residents. This is a funny shitpost. This album is a funny shitpost. This is not. This is just a bunch of things happening. My favorite song from this album was Veterans Day Poppy, because it was a good song. That was good on purpose, because they decided to make it good for the end of the album. Strangely makes me kind of annoyed. And my least favorite song on this album is Orange Claw Hammer. And for the first time, I actually have honorable mentions for the worst song of the album. And guess what? There are four other songs which I think could be called the worst. Hair Pie Bake 1, because it's the most grating thing I've ever heard. China Pig, because it doesn't fit with the album at all. It's just low quality, the lowest quality guitar and vocals I've ever heard that are just boring. It's the most boring thing ever. I would rather hear just blank noise. And actually, no, I wouldn't, because Well is blank noise, and it is also the most boring thing I've ever heard. And The Dust Blows Forward and The Dust Blows Back is Well. This is worse than both. This is worse than all of those, because it is the third song that is blank noise on this album. There are 3 songs on this album that are blank noise with Captain Beefheart on the top of them going, I don't know, I got a little car. Yeah, the lesson of this video, don't listen to this album. This is officially the dumbest album ever made. This is there is nothing dumber than this. This is the absolute stupidest thing I've ever heard. Except for, of course, AJR.